Check it out. I got my hands on one Sony A7S III and it has been pretty damn good. I've been using it for a few weeks now and I'm enjoying it. I used to have a Sony A7S II, but then sold it to get the C200, and now with the A7S III in my hands, I do miss having a smaller camera. Now, to be honest, I did film a whole bunch of stuff about like how much I love this camera and why it's so good. But then I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw another A7S III video and I was like, I feel like I already know a whole bunch about it. So I would just say the two things that my favorite about this camera is that number one, we're at a point with video where these cameras pretty much shoot all the frame rates and resolutions that I think are practical and that most people would actually use. So it's really our imagination that's really limiting us. So the first shoot I did was shooting a promotional video, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But essentially I could shoot whatever I wanted, really, 4K, 120 frames a second, 4K 50, or even 25 frames, and it was really good. Plus the low light capability in the camera was fantastic. But that is definitely the first thing. And the second thing is the ergonomics and the user experience of this camera is way better. It's coming from a former Sony A7S II user. The flip screen is a much appreciated touch. The viewfinder is way better. The record button is in a better position, and the autofocus inside this camera is so much better. However, in saying that, the one thing that I don't love about this camera necessarily is that there's no top LCD compared to the Canons. It's really nice to have a top LCD, and that there is the headphone jack here, but it kind of blocks the LCD when you try to swivel it around. That is a bit annoying, especially if you're shooting audio out of in camera and you want to listen to the person, but you can't really see a screen at very many angles. A little bit annoying. Other than that, I really like this camera. So wrapping it all up, shooting with the A7S III has been a treat. The first shoot I actually used this camera on was just a promotional video we did for a workshop. It was just an hour-long shoot, and the setup for it, I just used a 120D, shooting straight down with a softbox on a C-stand. And I turned off all the house lights just to make it a little bit more dramatic or cinematic, if you will. And it was awesome. Having the low light capability of the A7S III was great. And the different lenses, I had a 50mm 1.4 Carl Zeiss, a 24mm 1.4 G Master, and the 16-35, and that was perfect. I also used just the natural light in the environment in the kitchen, but the food photography stuff of Chris, which is a food photographer, this camera worked like a charm. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for one. Looking for a camera for both videos. I'm still yet to try out some of the photos, but I just watched a video by Pat K, and he did some street photography, and that looks so good. So I'll link that below, which you can check out. Other than that, I have my new friend over at Sony. His name's Clyde. He also has a YouTube channel, which I'll leave in the link in the description, but he knows so many things about the A7S III. So if you have any questions, either comment on one of his videos or let me know down in the comments below, and I'll ask you and update you in the next video. But yeah, fantastic camera, really excited to use it. And tomorrow I'm actually using a Nikon camera to shoot a video for the first time, so I'll let you know how that goes as well. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.